that's just one of those things that I just kind of lost and I'm still trying to get back. And I had a friend there hyping me up, being like, yeah, she has a YouTube channel. Now he's gonna know. Although I don't plan to have kids soon, obviously it's something that I have thought about. Are we good? Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. For anyone who's new, hello, my name is Megs. I'm a cancer survivor and I now make videos all about positivity, self-care, healthy lifestyle, how to grow the hair out from awkward layers and stuff like that. So if you would like to join the little community and be notified every single Sunday when I upload a new video, then please consider subscribing down below and hitting the bell notification, as well as following me on Instagram. But today's video I'm super excited about. It is the first video of a brand new series that I am starting called Chats with Megs. I've had this idea to start a new series for quite some time, and the reason being is I just want to be able to have a space where I can sit down and honestly chit chat with you all. In all of my sit down videos that I have on my channel, I do try to provide a lot of value, a lot of information, and I know that sometimes they can be like loaded with content. So I wanted to be able to have videos where I can honestly just sit down informally with a cup of tea in my cozy little corner and chair and be able to just talk to you all, talk to my community, my friends. Honestly, I always say that most of my friends are my online friends, so everyone on YouTube and Instagram, thank you so much for sticking with me for almost 2 years now. And yeah, I just want to be able to just talk about less like, I don't know, formal topics and just be able to like chit chat with you all. So if you watched my room tour, or my home office tour that I posted last week, you'll have seen this is my little corner. So I did have this corner in mind to be able to just have my like designated area for chats with Megs. But yeah, so let's get started. I figured, what better way to start off a new series than with doing a Q&A? I've never actually done like a real Q&A on my channel. I've only ever done like cancer related Q&As. And by the way, if you wanted to check those out, I will leave the thumbnails right here. But yeah, let's do a Q&A. So I did post a story and a post on my Instagram. I also posted a question in the YouTube community page. If you have not checked out that page, you definitely should, because I do post on there as well. And you all sent me a bunch of questions, so thank you so much to everybody who did. Let's get this Q&A started. Please grab a drink. I am drinking a green tea. That is my drink of choice for today. You know I always have a tea when I'm filming a video. I have all your questions on my phone, and let's get to it. So the first question was, as a blogger, what does your planning look like, or even more so, a day in the life within your shoes? This is a good question. My life is hectic. That's like the easiest way for me to put it. I wish I was like a more organized and scheduled person. Honestly, I used to be, but I feel like that's just one of those things that I just kind of lost and I'm still trying to get back. That being said though, like blogging, Instagram, YouTube and stuff like that, that's not my full-time job. Obviously, that's just like my passion project right now. For now. However, I do try to do it as much as I can in my spare time, which means evenings and weekends, really. I would say that it's mostly my weekends, usually my Saturdays, and the majority of my Sundays are also dedicated to either like taking pictures, making videos, editing, stuff like that. I think that if you're trying to like balance a side hustle with a 9 to 5, the most important thing to do is just to plan a lot. I like to plan a lot, so although I don't have like a schedule necessarily that I follow strictly every week, I do plan a lot, and I do plan out like what pictures I want to take and then when I'm going to take them or when I'm going to film, and I usually have like a rough plan of the video that I'm going to film, so it's just kind of like when I sit down and do it, I'm actually doing it because it's planned out type of thing. I usually also try to like sit down and write out captions, pick pictures to post, stuff like that. So I wish I had a schedule set out, but at this point it's just really whenever you can, plan as much as you can so you don't really have to think about it in the moment. You can just be like, okay, Saturday morning I'm going to do this, 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 and this, and it's all planned out, and you kind of just zoom through it. Question number 2, how do you bring up that you had cancer to people without it being awkward? I love this question because it's like one of those things where it's like when you meet new people, it's not something you really want to say. Like when I meet new people, that's not something I start with. I honestly let them figure it out on their own. At this point, like even though my hair still looks a little bit awkward, you can't tell that like I had cancer at one point in my life. You can just see that I have like an interesting hairstyle at the moment. So I usually don't tell people, I let them figure it out. But my main thing with this is act confident and no one will question you. If you own it and if you're like super confident about it, like, yeah, I had cancer. Yeah, that was a part of my life that is done and over with now. I beat that. and here we are, then they'll be like, oh, okay. But if you like make it super weird and make it super awkward, then that's how they're going to react. I find that the most awkward part is like, I'll be talking to someone new and then they'll be like, oh, like what's your social media? I want to follow you on Instagram. And like, that's when they'll find out, because like, obviously the fact that I had cancer is like very prominent. I have it in my like description box and stuff. The few times that it has happened, they'll like look at me and be like, oh, wow. And I'm like, yeah, like I remember once I was still making, it was still when I was making my YouTube videos about cancer like regularly, like that was my only content. And I was at like this creators kind of like gathering meetup thingy, and I was sitting next to this guy and he was like, we were talking, and he also started a YouTube channel, and like obviously I never told him what mine was about, and I was wearing my wig, like, so he's like, oh, you have a YouTube channel. And then I had a friend there hyping me up, being like, yeah, she has a YouTube channel, and like she's pretty successful and she's good at this and this, and this guy's like, oh, what's your YouTube channel? And I was like turning beet red, because I'm like, man, like now he's gonna know. And he looked at it, and then like he kind of just went blank. Like he like looked at the first video and it was like me bald in the thumbnail, and he kind of just like went on about it, and then like, it was just awkward from there. Next question. What is your most on replay song right now, and why specifically that song? Ooh, okay, so I'm a stickler right now for listening to like throwback songs. So I find that like I go through phases of liking different types of music, I guess depending on the season, depending what like is going on in my life. And then I'll often forget about songs that I loved a few years ago. What I love to do, and this has been like such a good thing for me while I work, is you know how on Spotify you can select go to radio, and then it'll put in a playlist of songs that are like super similar to that song, or songs that were popular during the same time as that song. So I did that, and I recently found an old song that I used to love. So the song is, let me pull it up on my Spotify here. Shine by Years and Years, and I used to be obsessed with that song. I remember like I saw it on MTV when they used to play music videos, and they played the music video, and I was like hooked on that song, and it just reminded me of that time in my life. And that was a time in my life where I was like super like, let's get it, like I was very like confident in myself. I like was very like tough-skinned at that point in my life. Like I was like figuring out what I wanted to do with my life, and it was super exciting because I was like on that motivational train of like, I'm gonna get this degree, I'm gonna do this, this, this. And I just remember like that was like a really cool period of my life, because I was just like on this high of like, I'm gonna achieve my life goals and stuff. And like, don't get me wrong, I'm still like that, but you know, life happened after that one. So yeah, that song reminds me of a time in my life, and when I feel like when I listen to that song, it kind of like brings me back to, and like it's just like a feel-good song. So yep, that's the song that I'm currently listening to. Question number 4. When are the babies coming? Way to be direct. Okay, well, to make a long answer short, not for a long time. I think I want to have kids one day, but it's obviously not something that's going to happen for a while. I just have like a lot of things that I would like to accomplish before I settle down and have a family. And also, I think my life's been pretty eventful these last few years, so I think I'm just gonna like kind of focus on other things and not, you know, necessarily more life-altering things at the moment. Yeah, it's just something that like down the road I want to happen, but just not right now. That being said, I did reflect on this. So as a woman who is a cancer survivor who went through chemotherapy treatment, obviously the topic of having children is a very important and also a very heavy topic. So I actually wanted to do a Chats with Megs about that, talking about like freezing eggs, having children, and kind of what that looks like in the mind of somebody who has gone through cancer treatment and whose plans are not necessarily going to stay the same once something like that has happened to their body. So I think that'd be a really cool topic to cover, unpack, and I definitely have a lot to say about that topic. Although I don't plan to have kids soon, obviously it's something that I have thought about, discussed, and stuff like that. So stay tuned for that, because that'll probably come soon. Okay, number 5. What movie makes you laugh and cry every time you watch it? Marley and Me. Every single time. It gets me every time, even though obviously I know how it ends. I know what happens. I know that's just the way life works. It makes me laugh because I love dogs, and like having one, obviously I understand all the emotions in the movie. And then yeah, the ending, I just like every single time. I think it'll make me cry every single time I watch it. But I love that movie. It's a classic. It's a feel-good movie. Yeah, Marley and Me. Question number 6. How are you doing? How do you stay so positive? Oh, thank you. I'm doing good. I'm doing okay. October definitely was a rough month. 2 people close to me passed away in that month, so it was definitely like a very emotionally hard month on me. But otherwise, I mean, obviously I'm blessed with this whole pandemic going on. Like, I've been lucky enough to have a job and I'm healthy, and like my last checkup with my doctor was really good. Like, I'm super healthy still, so I have lots of things to be grateful for. And so then carrying on to how do I stay positive? Gratitude. It has literally been my lifesaver lately. I just really try to think of things that I'm grateful for, things that I am happy to have in my life, things I'm lucky to have in my life. That being said, like, I'm not a positive person all the time. Of course, I try my best, especially like this just, yeah, it's just been a weird month for me. But I think a huge part of it also was physical activity. I signed myself up for a cycle and spin class. I've mentioned that a few times now. That is my saving grace, and I think that it's on the days where I'm really feeling down is the days that I know that I really need a good sweat to boost those endorphins, and I always feel a million times better after. So yeah, I think for me right now, it's been gratitude and physical activity are the things that right now have been keeping me super duper positive, because it's been a rough year. Number 7, what coping mechanisms have helped you with cancer trauma? Cancer trauma. Another heavy topic, which also I might do a chat with Megs about, because I feel like that'd be a good topic to discuss. If anyone watching this is just finishing up their treatment, there was a point in my life where I was so scared that I was never going to live another day without worrying about cancer. I was like, how am I going to move forward? How am I ever going to be excited for anything when the idea of cancer is always lingering in my mind? And I'm happy to say that, honestly, I barely think about it now. Like, yeah, of course, it's still something that I have to monitor, something that I have to be careful about, but it's not something that I think about on a daily basis, honestly. Like, I very rarely think about it. Even when I get like a random pain, like, I don't play it off as like, oh my goodness, it's my tumor coming back anymore. Like, I know the signs, and I know that if it's just a random pain, it'll probably pass in a few days. And then if it doesn't pass in a few days, that's when we worry about it. But otherwise, it'll probably pass, so I shouldn't stress out about it too much. But how I deal with it and how I dealt with it is planning for the future. I love planning, and I love having something to look forward to. And I really found that if I was exactly finding things to look forward to, finding things to plan for in the future, then my mind was concentrated on that in the future rather than thinking about what was behind me, what was in my past. I took the lessons that I learned from my past and brought them with me to my future. And of course, like, they changed the way I'm planning for my future, but that's the thing, like, just things to occupy your mind, which for me is planning for my dreams, planning my future, planning my goals, planning my dreams, looking forward to the next thing in life rather than letting my mind be consumed about things that are behind me. Question number 8, how do you get yourself motivated to work out when you lack motivation? I have definitely struggled with this last few months. Like, ever since I got cold, I don't know, I can't get myself to work out. And so a few things that I did talk about this in my Raising Your Vibe video, is I signed myself up for a cycle and spin class, and that helps me stay accountable because obviously I'm paying a monthly fee for it. If I sign up for a class, I'm held accountable to show up to this class because I will pay a no-show fee if I don't. So I really love that, and it's like a really good workout, and like, you're forced to stay there for 45 minutes, and you know, obviously you can go as hard as you choose to go, but you're still getting a good workout in, and it's 45 minutes and someone's kind of like walking you through it. And so I love that because I feel like I am not very self-motivated right now to work out. I definitely need a push. I definitely need somebody kind of like making me do it. So I find that it's really helped to do that. I love it. I think if you find cute activewear, I love cute activewear. I did buy myself like a few new sets that I do just love wearing. And you know, those like, yeah, those outfits that you put on, you feel great. And I'm like, hey, yeah, let's go work out because like I feel cute. I want to like go work out and put this expensive activewear to good use. Also, finding good music, upbeat music always gets me in the mood to dance, to work out. And so I try my best to listen to upbeat music a lot. That's something that I've always kind of had as like my mood booster, is just any type of music that's very upbeat, that makes you dance, that makes you want to move around. I find that that really helps me just boost my energy and then have the motivation to work out. And then last question is, how do you deal with negativity, negative comments, etc.? Good question. I'm pretty lucky to say that I very rarely get any negative comments or very rarely have to deal with negativity, and I'm very thankful for that. However, there of course are the occasional DMs and comments and unsolicited stuff that people do have to say. And for me, dealing with it is just knowing that you're not going to impress everyone. There's always going to be somebody who has something to say, and there's always going to be keyboard warriors. Definitely a lot of people that have sent me messages. I know that for a fact if we had been having that conversation face to face, they wouldn't have said the things that they said. And yeah, just like, you're not going to impress everyone. You're not going to make everyone happy. There's always going to be someone who talks smack about you. There's always going to be someone who has nothing better to do with their day than to sit behind their computer screen or behind their phone and type out mean comments. So I think that's just something that you have to just learn how to like filter out. I honestly don't let those comments get to me. Again, like I haven't had them very much, so I'm very lucky, but like the occasional messages that I do get, I'm like, okay, like that's your opinion, that's what you think. If you don't agree, that's fine. Like, people don't agree with what I post. If people don't agree with what I say, then they can unfollow me, they can unsubscribe, they don't have to watch my videos, stuff like that. Like, I'm here for the people that want to have a more positive life, that the people that want to have a more positive outlook, the people that want support and guidance and kind of like have a friend through their troubles and hardships in life. So if that's not for you, that's totally fine. I know that my channel is not for everyone, and I have had a lot of people unfollow me as a result, which is absolutely fine. Again, I would only want to have a community of people that want to be there rather than people who feel like they have to be there. So yeah, in saying with that, just negativity, just like filter it out. I think that wraps up the Q&A. I don't want to drag this video on for too long. So again, thank you to everybody who sent in their questions. If I did not answer your question, I'm really sorry, but feel free to send me a DM and I will gladly answer it for you. But that's gonna wrap up this video. So again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe so you know every time I post a Chats with Megs or any other video, which is usually on Sundays. And give me a follow on Instagram where I am a lot more active and I do post daily stories and stuff like that. But for now, that is all. So know yourself, know your body, and until next time.